go, let's go.
Baseline drive and throws it down with no air.
You're good, thanks. Good job.
Good pass down low to Whippleville. Throw it down. Green fires a three. Let's go.
Welcome to the Tim Miles Show. Welcome, everybody, to the Tim Miles Show as we sit down and talk Colorado State Rams hoops. I'm your host, Brian Roth. Next to me, the Coach Tim Miles. Tim, inaugural show. Great to be doing this with you here this year. And Rams off to a great start. Non-conference play is now over. Rams sitting at 10-4. We're going to kind of rewind a little bit and take a look back to the start of the season. And let's go back to the beginning of the year. Nice win over Arkansas Pine Bluff, an NCAA tournament team in the season opener. But then you guys go on the road to take on DU, a team that had won 15 straight games, and you guys get your first road win early in the season.
Hey, let's get back to the Tim Miles Show. Is this featuring Brian Roth? Or we get
featuring Brian Roth. We have some Kristen Holt coming up as well. I wanted to call it the Brian Roth Show, but the Mucky Muck shot that down. Apparently people want to hear from you more than they want to hear from me, Tim.
Better win then. Hey, we're excited to get started with Rams basketball this year. We started the season with 2 good exhibition wins and then, of course, over Pine Bluff. As we got going with the Denver game, that was a really important game for us. They had a 15-game winning streak, like 7th longest in the country, somewhere in there. And to beat a rival, a front-range rival at Denver, I thought was a good way to start our road season.
Yeah, and it's always good, I know, to get that first road win out of the way because, let's face it, winning road basketball games in college basketball is not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not. And it's just, the basketball is different. There's a better environment. It's the largest players in the smallest court in the smallest environment, and so it poses a lot of problems atmosphere-wise. You lose a little bit of skill in shooting, and you get a little worked up with ball handling. So it was good to come out and after the first 4 minutes, kind of control that whole game.
Yeah, Rams had a great crowd down there as well, so that's always nice. How about that Drake game, the Missouri Valley Mountain West Conference Challenge? You guys take care of your business with the Bulldogs of Drake, and the conference takes care of their business. We'll get to that in a second, but you guys came out and I thought dominated a pretty good Drake team. Yeah,
Drake has been real solid, and we came out and I thought the first half they made a whole bunch of tough shots. I thought our defense was pretty good, but they kind of ended up going just one-on-one. We eliminated some of the things they do schematically, and we were able to go one-on-one, and it was kind of a tight game. And then we had a play where Greg Smith gets busted on a screen, but he comes out of nowhere. It's his first game back for us. He blocks a shot, sparks us down. We go down and score, and then he tips in a free throw. We end up the half on an 11-2 run, which is really important. And I thought we did a nice job the second half of the game, except they got some threes late. Otherwise, we controlled the whole game.
Yeah, how about the Mountain West Conference? They go 8-1 in the Missouri Valley Mountain West Challenge. It not only go 8-1, but did it in pretty dominating fashion in those 8 wins.
Yeah, it was really impressive. Our league is good, and I think it's sending a message to those. There's a lot of people who thought the Valley was clearly the better league for a long time, and only Northern Iowa. They got TCU at TCU, and then they beat New Mexico and Las Vegas at a tournament. So Ben Jacobson, who's a good friend of mine, has been a little bit of a thorn in our side, but that's a good program, and they do an excellent job. But we were happy to beat Drake, and we were looking forward to Fresno.
Yeah, and that was a good Northern Iowa team, by the way, that knocked off Kansas in the NCAA tournament last year. Fresno State, a bit of a revenge game for you guys after what happened in Fresno the year before.
Well, when you completely don't compete the year before, you guys, Jerry Schemmel, who was there calling the game, I think, it was one of those deals that Fresno came out. It was right after Christmas and just blitzed us, and so our guys were excited to get back. And really, Fresno, I thought we did a nice job of. We endured a flurry of 3-point field goals at the end of the first half. That was really tough for us, but our inside kids got it going. And that's really critical for us when you look at Ogaday and Franklin and their ability to hurt you. That was really important for us. And we eliminated their good player, an NBA prospect in Greg Smith. So it was a good win for us and a well-deserved and well-needed win.
Starting to get a little traction at that point, and then the big game with Colorado was the following Wednesday. And great atmosphere down there at the Coors Event Center. Some of your thoughts, you guys would lose 90-83 in overtime, and I know that's one of those losses that didn't sit well with you afterwards.
No, well, they never do.
None of them do, obviously.
They never do. First of all, that was a big week for us. We had Kansas following up, Colorado, and to go in with your rival on a doubleheader night, the limited played earlier, it was a really a good atmosphere that way. And it was a game, after the first couple minutes, we were nervous and we turned the ball over a little bit. Then we settled down and we really got cooking, and we were able to get in the lane, with a variety of guys. And really, I thought played well, where we had a chance at the free throw line with just 5 seconds to go to extend the lead to 8. Jesse Carr misses the front end of a one-on-one. They outlet it deep and hit a 3 at the buzzer. Now we've dominated the game. We shoot 64%, they shoot 36%, and we only have a 3-point lead to show for it. Now you're talking about a great game. Now a game that went in the second half, it goes back and forth. I think the game featured 16 lead changes, 8 ties, and Colorado took command late. We pressed, fouled, and then kept scoring to force overtime. Jesse Carr made a really good play at the end of regulation to go in there and tie the game. And then we went into overtime, and it was a tight game that way too, just not enough to come out on top.
Yeah, you mentioned the 16 lead changes. I think 15 of the lead changes actually came after halftime. It gives you an idea of the excitement level in that second half. A game like that against a rival in Colorado, a good crowd, it goes into overtime. I know you didn't get the win, but I know games like that can heighten the awareness of college basketball here in the state of Colorado. It's kind of been in the doldrums over the last decade.
Well, I think it was a well-played game, and I think it's, according to people who've told me that know the history better than I do, have told me it's one of the better CSU games that have happened, especially in course the event center deal there. And and it was fun to be a part of that. We want our program to be looked at a minimum as equal as Colorado, and I still think we're a better team. I still think we should have won the game, and we won't know that we're a better team unless we played them at their place, at our place, and probably a neutral court, best of 3 or something like that. But at the same time, it was a fun event and good to be a part of it.
You had Kansas coming up 3 days later. You go to the Sprint Center, a sold-out venue, taking on the 4th-ranked team in the nation. Give me some of your thoughts, because you guys played well and hung with Kansas for a majority of that game. Well,
it was a primetime national television game, too. It was really kind of geared up to be a showcase for CSU basketball. And I thought that, we came out. Dorian Green hits the first shot of the game. There's a Lawrence, Kansas kid, and it's kind of neat when he got announced, the crowd goes crazy. But Dorian, I thought, did well at 10 points in the first half. And we really made a nice run, and we, I think, had an 18-6 or something like that run to kind of end the first half. Kansas made a big-time play. They got an offensive rebound, hit a tough shot on the baseline to go up, I think, 5 at halftime. And then, we had a group of guys that helped us, and we tightened it up. We had a chance to cut it to 3, and they waved off a goaltending call, offensive basket interference. And then Kansas exerted their will. They hurt us on the boards. They started making some threes, and we just couldn't control the glass on Kansas. They really hurt us with offensive rebounding. Ends up being a 21-point game, which was disappointing, but at the same time, I think there was a lot to be learned from that game.
Jayhawks get the win, and then the Rams had a 9-day layoff for finals. They get Northern Colorado at the end of that 9-day game layoff, and again, it's another game you're looking for revenge, and you get it against the Bears.
Yeah, Northern Colorado beat us at their place. They did both years that I've been here. They beat us, and we beat them both places at our place, and it's a tough game that way. But I thought our kids came out and really controlled the game. We got up 19 points twice, and then credit Northern Colorado. They fought back. They cut it to 6, I believe, a couple different times. But really never enough to make it a real close game, but enough to scare the bejesus out of us. And you have to credit a gritty, tough team in Northern Colorado that way.
Rams are 5-3 at that point. They were going on a big road trip to Cancun and San Francisco. We'll talk about that with Tim Miles when we come back in a couple segments. But coming up next on the Tim Miles Show, we'll sit down with women's basketball coach Kristen Holt. That comes up next.